I died in my 2-year-old hardcore world. I've made 11 videos in this world, and it is actually the first world in which I beat the Ender Dragon fully in survival. Before I show you the clip of how I actually died, I first wanted to give you a walkthrough of everything I've done in this world. My spawn point was right around here. Over here is a ravine I went to in my first episode where I did a lot of speed bridging. There's no need to show the clip, but this here was the village I did my first raid in. That was a lot easier than I expected it to be. One reason being is that I made sure to get perfect armor and weapons before doing it. If we head over here, we will see a big platform at height limit. This is actually just the wedding area for my wolves. It took me about 3 hours to make it, and it was just for a 30-second clip at the end of a video. And you know, that's one thing that's really interesting about making these types of videos, because there's just so much behind the scenes the viewer doesn't actually get to see. Now if we head about 1,000 blocks to the north, this is where I actually built my starter base, and it's just this little shack in which I lived for over 300 days before building my castle, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Now as you can see, there's lots of destruction and creeper holes everywhere, and that's just because I was too lazy to ever patch them up. You know, it's just the type of thing you say you will do but never actually end up doing. And over here is my automatic chicken farm, which provided me of over 4,000 chicken. And yeah, food was pretty much no longer a problem after making this. And over here is the mid-game XP farm I made in episode 5, the same episode where I made perfect armor. I made this farm just because I knew how much XP I would need to get all together in order to put all those enchantments on my armor. Right here I made a sort of raid practice arena. I basically built 2 village houses out of dirt and just practiced my block clutching skills. Now we head over to the bigger projects. This here is my town, which I built on episode 10. This was a very hard project considering the fact that I didn't really have a ton of ideas on what to build here, and that led us to things like this. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking with this one. This is probably my favorite building of the town. It's a 6-story building with each story having 2 floors, and I really like this one because it was able to fit in such a small area but still contain so many villagers. I also built this house, which was pretty much just the house of that one guy who lives in isolation from the rest of the town. Now if we go up this mountain, we can see my castle that I built on episode 8. It consists of 8 floors and took me something like a month to build. But comparing it to what episode 11 took, that was nothing. I'm not gonna do a walkthrough of all the floors of the castle because I already did that in episode 8, so if you want to see a walkthrough of all the floors, that's where you can find it. If we go up here, we can see the floating island I built at height limit for episode 9. This was a more relaxing project because it was a lot easier to build than the castle and the town. However, if we were to go back to the castle and down through here, this is where I built my underground base. Now this was definitely the biggest project I did in this world, just because of how long it took and how many rooms I needed to make. I made it so that each room leads to a certain number of other rooms, and yeah, this took an absurd amount of time. This took a very long time, mainly because I made custom exteriors to all the rooms, you know, because if I hadn't done so, it would have just looked terrible. But I think that's what generally took the longest, just mining the outer layer of a room and replacing it with other blocks. This here is probably my favorite room. It's a sort of dungeon in which I made a bunch of cool torture machines. It was very relaxing to make this. Wait, no, scratch that. Another room that I really liked is this room. It's an abandoned storage room, but what I really like about it is that if you move a book over here in a specific way, it opens up a secret passage that closes after a few seconds. I couldn't find any tutorial for anything like that on the internet, so I just had to design one myself. That took me 5 hours. Listen, I never claimed to be mumbo jumbo. I'm just a chill guy who likes Minecraft. If you were to go down the secret passage, you would find this secret mafia layer with a map of the nearby town. If you wanted to go back up, you would exit out this one-way door and go up this bubble column, which will take you right back up. I even made a perfect disguise for it by adding a sign that reads "Old Exit Out of Order." I'm sure no one will ever suspect that. If we were to go back up to the surface, over here is my iron farm that I made for episode 8, where I built an entire floor of the castle that was made out of iron blocks. If we actually go down here and enter the Nether, this is where all the iron was stored. These chests actually filled up extremely quickly, and I never added more chests, so a lot of it was just wasted. I didn't really do too much in the Nether. It was more of a dimension that helped me progress, but I never actually got to the point where I built something here. If we would go over here to the stronghold, the end dimension is also pretty empty. I did make an enderman farm over there. I actually planned on building lots of things in the end dimension, but I just never got to that point. And that brings us to how I died. So, I started recording episode 12. I was planning on it being the episode in which I trap every mob in Minecraft. But before I started doing that, I wanted to beat the Wither in order to make it easier to build and mine things with a haste beacon. I'd summoned the Wither and everything was going fine until the Wither popped one of my totems and I realized I only had one totem left. Now this was a big problem because a long time ago I made a rule to myself that I'd never leave myself on one totem because that's how a lot of hardcore YouTubers died. So what I decided to do was leave the area and start a raid in order to get a few more totems before going back and fighting the Wither. And as you can see in this clip, I accidentally shot an iron golem, making it agitated. I saw a Vindicator enter this house, so I mined a block of the roof in order to kill it, but I didn't succeed in doing so. As you can see here, the iron golem I shot had finally got to me and got me down to 8 hearts. While trying to escape it, I ended up falling into my own manhole. Here I was met with 2 unfriendly illagers, a Vindicator and a Pillager. Anyone with common Minecraft knowledge would go for the Vindicator first and then kill the Pillager, since the Vindicator does a lot more damage than the Pillager. But since it happened so fast, I didn't really realize what was happening, so I went for the Pillager first. That gave the Vindicator enough time to get behind me and kill me, leaving us with one final clip.
Oh no.
Oh. Alright. This brings us to the part of the video I was dreading the most. I would like to inform you with a heavy heart and much regret that I would be quitting YouTube. Probably for like a few days, then I'll start a new series. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this hardcore series, and I hope you will enjoy the new one even more. Yes, I will be making a new hardcore series, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Also, make sure to subscribe before we hit 5,000 to become part of the pre-5000 gang. And yeah, see you in the next video. Peace.